Hi, Dave Gagnon here. Welcome to our introduction to EXP Realty. This is part of our Explore the Model series. We want to ensure that you get enough information that you can decide whether you want to continue your due diligence process and see if this is something that really makes sense for us to be able to work together. And so this is really a collaboration to get the word out to you guys. And I'm going to try to keep it really short on the overall presentation and then give a lot of FAQs where I can get into some more detail. So you only have to spend the time getting the answers that are most relevant to you. And so if you're an agent who's looking to double or triple your business, or if you are very well established and doing wonderful things, someone that we would consider being iconic in the local area, we have a special program for agents of that caliber. Or even if you're a broker owner looking for elegant solution to outsourcing the brokerage side of it, mitigating your risk, getting rid of your expenses, I really want you to look at this video from the perspective of, is this better for your agents? And if it is, then let's have a private conversation on how it's better for you as a broker owner also. So let me jump into it here and share the video. All right, so number one, innovations happening, right? So, Blockbuster, I think I kept Blockbuster in business. I have 4 kids, raised 6, and every time there was a storm in the Northeast, we'd be off to Blockbuster, and everyone would get a video or two and maybe a game or two when that part came out. And Blockbuster actually had the ability to buy Netflix for pretty short money when you look at the big scheme of things. And Blockbuster said, nope, that innovation will never impact us. And I don't think there's any more Blockbuster stores available, right? And so same thing with retail stores. How many retail stores were your favorite places to go that are now out of business? I think of Circuit City. And I remember reading an article at some point where someone at Circuit City was talking about no one would buy electronics from the internet because people want to push the button and hear the speakers and turn the dials and those kind of things. And Amazon has been one of the biggest impacts on retail. Same thing with Uber and Lyft affecting taxis. And here's EXP really disrupting traditional brokerages. I ran 7 offices before coming to EXP. And on most days, there was more staff at the office than agents. And in some cases, I think there were more tumbleweeds than agents on any given day. In the old days, agents went to the office every day because that's where high-speed internet was. That's where you could make phone calls to the next town over without having long distance, those kind of things. The books, the listings were in book form, and you had to go to the office every week to get your book or get the update. And now all the data is in your phone, right? So most agents are not going into the office on a daily basis, but they're paying for that office. So we have EXP World, about 450 employees or so are based in EXP World. And so whether you need some kind of real-time support, our tech team can actually log into your computer and help align your headset, help your microphone, those kind of things. We have specialized departments to help agents in every aspect of your business, whether it's marketing, accounts receivable, accounts payable, brokerage services, training, education, anything like that is all in there. I'll give you a little tour right here.
A world once disconnected by distance, from impossible to possible. The elite, now the common. The lonely, now united. Now imagine a world created for connection. Welcome to our world, EXP World.
Welcome to EXP World.
EXP, created for connection.
All right. So in the world, we have more than 40 hours of live training each and every week. Actually, not each and every week. I mean, if it's Christmas week or Thanksgiving or something like that, I don't think it's 40 hours. But most weeks, 40 hours. And that will range from learning how to do real estate to doing it at a higher level to specializing in aspects, whether that's first-time buyers, seniors, luxury, commercial, all of those kind of things. So the topics, there are some that are consistent and persistent, and there are some that rotate in. So there's always something going on. Most of the classes are recorded and archived. And so if you can't make it because you're with a client or with your family, you have access to go in and get those kind of trainings. Our core values, we talk about community and fun, the company being agile, being innovative, have integrity, transparency, collaboration, sustainability, and service. We all subscribe to these, and it helps bond us all together. If this is the kind of stuff that you're looking for in your business, in your life, then you're going to love the fact that we have these core values and live by them. We're going to talk about the money a little bit. To go into business with us, there's no franchise to buy. No one's looking to sell you a territory. It's $149 to join. And that does vary a little bit. It's a little bit different in Canada. In New York City itself, it's a little bit different just because of the services that are there. But every other place in the US, it's $149. What does that get you? It's 1,000 business cards. You get some folders, little EXP pin, but more importantly, it's launching your KV core sites, your CRMs, all the tools that you're going to need to be able to communicate with the company, communicate with your clients, and increase your business. The way the money works here, it's an 80-20 split. That's for everybody across the board. Now, if you're running a team, you can do whatever splits you have with your team members and those kind of things. Everyone has a cap of $16,000. And so 80,000 of gross commission sales times 20% is 16,000. And that would make someone a capper. So in most parts of the country, that's 2.6 to 3.1 million, depending on what your average fee structure is in your local market and what you're doing. After that, it's 100% to the agent, right? So a $10,000 commission, 100% goes on the agent side, and there's a capped transaction fee of $250. And that stays in place until an agent has done 20 deals or paid in $5,000 of capped transaction fees, at which point it drops to $75 per deal, and it stays there until the agent's anniversary date, right? So not a calendar year, but each agent has their own 12-month period. Our monthly fee is $85. That's on the tech side. So that's everything in the world. That's all the tools that give you all of your dashboards, all of that kind of stuff. On a per transaction basis, there is a broker review fee. It's $25 on every deal. And our E&O, or risk management, is $40 per deal. And that caps at $500 per year, and then it turns off. Let's talk a little bit about the growth of the company, right? So in 2009, the company was founded. It was started by Glenn Sanford. He had a team that he had built up, master lead generator, and got sick and tired of paying way too much money to a brokerage, decided to create this company and really created it with the mindset that he wanted to create a company where he would want to be as an agent and never leave. And that should make it attractive to other agents to, number one, come over, and number two, to not leave. In 2013, in fact, that's actually the year that I started with the company. In 2013, EXP became a publicly traded company. And back then, we were a penny stock. I think the first stock I got was at 19 cents a share. Now, of course, it's well above that. But we became publicly traded. It was a penny stock originally. Then it became an over-the-counter trade, and now it's on the NASDAQ. Where we file every quarter with the SEC. We self-audit and publish every quarter. The 10Ks are available, the annual reports are available. So very transparent. Everyone can look at the company, see the money that we're making, see that we're sustainable, and all of those kinds of things. In 2015, we hit 650 agents. In fact, leap year day in 2016 is when we hit 1,000 agents. That was 7 years in. And just to put it in perspective, from what I understand, Keller Williams hit 1,000 agents for the first time in 14 years. I'm not saying we're twice as good, I'm saying we're twice as fast, right? So that just is what it is there. In 2017, we hit 6,500 agents. We were in 47 states. When I started in 2013, we're only in 18 states. We weren't even in the state that I lived in, and so I couldn't even join and start without helping to identify the broker and wait for the state to get open and all those kind of things. So growth was slow early because we had to put all the foundations in place. Now growth is going at a record rate. Last year, we joined the NASDAQ. That was a huge thing. 2019, this is showing 22,000 agents. Right now, I think we're over 24,000, coming up on 25,000, and we still have some time to close out 2019. And I think the future is more bright and will go even faster than what we've been doing. International collaboration, right now we're in all 50 states. We're the first brokerage, and I think as of today, still the only brokerage to operate in all 50 states, plus DC. And we have the largest coverage by MLS coverage of any brokerage in the United States. We're also expanding throughout Canada, and we continue to add provinces there also. We announced earlier this year moving into the United Kingdom, and that should all be officially open by the end of 2019. We also announced Australia, and that should hit about the same timeframes. Once those are open, then we can continue with the conversations that we've been having with dozens of countries all across the world. And production matters, there's always going to be our competition trying to take shots at us and say things about us and all that kind of things. One of the things that I hear is all you guys do is recruit. Well, all we do is share what this is all about, and people come or they don't come, but they're coming in record numbers, right? And it's not about being a body shop. When I was running brokerages before, it was always about the numbers, and it was a body shop type mentality. I didn't like it, but that's what the job was, and that's what I was told I had to do. Here, I don't talk with folks who aren't successful already, and if someone has introduced you to this video, they see something special in you, either your production, your leadership, or your talents. But just to give you some things, some recognition that we've already got. So this is the real trends, top 500 of 2019. We were number one in top movers for transactions, right? The number of transactions closed year over year. Number two in volume for movers. Number two largest independent brokerage in the entire country. Closed transaction size, number four. Closed volume for the entire year, number five. And that's not just independents, that's all brokerages, right? Now, not brands, because you can have a brand who says, oh, we do all this stuff because we all use the same logo, but they're all independently owned. Some of them are larger regional players, and a lot of them are just small offices. We are all one brokerage, right? So when we talk about being in the US, in Canada, and beyond, it's all of us in the same brokerage, under the same umbrella, really in the same company. We're all shareholders in the same parent company. Top brokerage in agent count, we're number three according to T360. On brokerage sides, number four, and number six on total sales volume. I think those numbers speak for themselves. EXP Enterprise, it's your entire dashboard. So everything that you need to run your business, all the details on all your transactions, where you are to your cap, your revenue share if you're participating in that, your stock awards when you're receiving those, everything is in there. It actually ties into something like 12 or 13 platforms that operate behind the scenes, but it's a single user login. Log in there, you have access to it all. SkySlope has digital signature. All of your files are in there. I'll get questions from folks that maybe are using .loop or something like that, and can I still use that? In my MLS in New Hampshire, .loop is actually provided by the MLS. So there, everyone still uses .loop. Everyone does all of their deals in .loop, and then once the deal is done, once it's ratified and signed by everyone, you can email it as a PDF. So you come into SkySlope, you create an account. It has a unique email address, and you can email the entire PDF in and then break it down very simply. Click, 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 boom, go, and it's all in there. And then it's served up to the state broker, who will review it, approve it, and then you get paid on it, right? And so the other thing that I think is really cool, in running offices, we always wanted to mitigate risk. And one of the biggest problems that agents would get themselves into is not documenting everything. And so imagine, right, you create the file. Now it has a unique email address, and you can use that as a blind copy or a straight up CC on all of your emails, on all of your texts, and everything that you do with a client will be part of that file and held for 7 years, right? Just like all the files should be. But everything that you ever communicated is there for you. And so if there's ever a challenge, or they say you didn't say something, or they say you did say something, it's all in the file, easy to find, and help protect you. So I think it's a great tool for you guys. We use Workplace, which is a tool within Facebook. It's Facebook for business. Just so cool. We have about 1,000 at this point, subgroups. And so whether, it's a language specific group, right? Maybe Russian speaking agents or Spanish speaking agents, or maybe it's having fun with sports, right? So, fantasy football, or, those kind of things. Or it might be folks focused on commercial sales. It might be folks focused on luxury, or one of the biggest groups is EXP Power Girls, which is a group just for the women to empower and move forward women in the industry. So all kinds of great things in there. CRM and lead generation. When I talk to agents, when I was coaching agents, it would come down to two things. I would ask them, to start the coaching process, what's more important to you? To have more leads to make more money, or to have more time to enjoy the life that you could afford based on your success? And most agents would say both, right? And so we get to solve that. So to have more leads and to be able to convert at a higher level, we use a program by Inside Real Estate called KB Core, and quite frankly, one of the top things that I've ever seen for lead generation. And now, if you're the type of agent who wants to pay for leads, you can do that in here, right? You can do Facebook marketing, you can do Google AdWords, and you're buying leads at wholesale prices instead of buying them from Realtor.com or Zillow and paying not just full retail for the leads, but full retail and an exorbitant markup. And a lot of those services are selling the same leads to your competitors, right? So not only are you paying a lot of money for the leads, you're also competing after the leads have been assigned. Here, you get to compete for the leads at wholesale prices, and you get to work them. They're not being sent to anybody else. And we do a lot of training on tactics and strategies that you can use to generate leads for free. Just putting your time in, let's say Facebook community pages, those kind of things, just all brilliant stuff. Marketing and branding. So first of all, with EXP, we are very agent-centric. What does that mean? Well, if an agent is newer in the business and they don't feel really confident about themselves, maybe they want to leverage the brand, right? So, hey, I'm an agent at EXP Realty, and EXP Realty has, all these agents, and they're all over the country, expanding around the world, and blah, 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 and you should do business with me because I'm with EXP Realty. However, once an agent's been in the business for any period of time, they find their voice, right? Maybe I'm the pet-friendly realtor. Maybe I'm the senior care realtor. Maybe I'm the veteran expert agent, or whatever it is, right? And so it should be about me. The people who are going to do business with me are going to do business with me because of who I am and what I do and my reputation in my local market, not because of any brand. So any brokerage that is saying, people will do business with you because you're with ABC company or XYZ company, they're just trying to make themselves more important. And quite frankly, they're not. And neither are we. It's about you. We want it to be all about you. We have an awesome marketing and branding section for agents to go into, and everything that you need in there, flyers and trifolds and pamphlets and all that stuff are in there for you to customize and download and send off to your printer and all of those kinds of things. All right, we get into one of my favorite things, which is revenue share. So everything that we've talked about before this, is the different flavors of all the brokerages, which is, how much do you pay to be there and what do you get in exchange for that? And I think we have the best combo of that. These next two things that I'm going to talk about, which is revenue share and stock, they are game changers. And so this has changed my life. It's changed my family's destiny. And it's really given me a passion to share this with everybody. So first of all, on revenue share. Revenue share, the way we pay it is agents run an 80-20 split until they cap with the 16,000. The money that comes into the company, that's company dollar, that's split 50-50. The company must have positive cash flow and make a profit on its 50%. It can't touch our 50%. Our 50% gets paid out to those agents who are helping to build the company through revenue share. And so we pay it on 7 lines, right? And so if I talk to Fred, Fred likes it, joins, Fred closes a $10,000 gross commission deal. Fred gets 80%, which would be $8,000 on his side of the ledger, and he pays his fees off of that, and he gets the balance. EXP gets $2,000 in this example on its side of the ledger, and it gets to keep half of that, which is $1,000, and out of that, they got to pay for all of our bills. The other $1,000 goes into the revenue share payout plan. And so we pay up to 3% on a level 1. So for Fred, in this case, 3.5% of $10,000 gross would be $350. And so if I was the personal sponsor of Fred on that deal, I would make up to $350. Now, Fred brings in Barney. Again, Barney does a $10,000 deal just to make it easy. In this case, Fred would get the $350 and Barney would be at my level 2. And you can see here that there's actually 2 columns. There's a small column called the expansion share, it's 0.2%. And there's a larger column that is 3.8%. That's the exponential share, and that adds up to a total of 4%. And so if I only have 1, 2, 3, 4 people, let's say 4 Freds, then I'm going to get the small number. So I get paid on every level through level 7, regardless how many people that I have. So if I bring in 1 person and they bring in a ton of people, I get paid on all those people. If I have 5 Freds or 5 FLAs, that would be a frontline agent. If I have 5, then I get the big bonus on my level 2s. If I have 10, I get the big bonus on my level 3s, etc., all the way through 7 levels. And so it encourages people, right? The more that's going on in your group, the more you want to grow, the more incentive, the more money is on the table. And so we propagate and encourage the proper activities through compensation. Now, I'll have people tell me, Dave, I'm not a recruiter, I don't want to recruit. And that's fine. We just share, right? I call it being an attractologist. Learn the art of attraction. And so just have the basic conversation, pique someone's curiosity, bring them in to explore the model, have them watch the video, and once they've watched it, ask them, what do they think? If it's not for them, don't bug them. If it is for them and they're ready to join, just bring them through the joining process. And if they think it's pretty cool, but they have questions, then get them the FAQs or get them on someone's calendar and we'll answer all of their questions. All right, this final piece, I'm gonna say something and I want you to think about it. Am I telling the truth? Do we think the same? I don't think there's any brokerage worth anything without its agents. Think about that, right? If I started a brokerage, it doesn't matter how much I bought, right? If I got $10,000 worth of furniture for the office. It doesn't mean the brokerage is worth $10,000. All I have is used furniture at that point, right? For the business to have any value, I need agents. And so if you do the valuation process of what is a business worth, typically it's like 2.5 to 3.5 times net profit. So the agents make sales, I get company dollar, and I pay my bills, and then I have a net profit, and that determines the value of my business. But the agents don't get to share in the equity of the business. I had an agent tell me, Dave, I've been in the business 20 years. I've been bought and sold 3 times and never got a dime for it, right? That's true. And so when Glenn started his vision of putting this company together, he wanted to have it be something that agents could have equity in, and getting it publicly traded was the best way to ensure that agents got the true value of their participation of equity. And so we have these equity opportunities, and there's actually 3 different and separate conversations, and you should understand all 3 of them. So number 1 is our sustainable equity program, and this is awards based. So think about it. If you've done really well at your current broker or your previous broker, you might have got a paper certificate that you could have put in a frame and hung up on the wall, or maybe you got a plaque. In fact, one of the folks that I brought over last year told me that they had just paid, I think it was $95 for their plaque from their brokerage, and then there was shipping and handling, so it was like $115. So they could have a plaque that said that they hit that accomplishment. And I asked them, I said, so if you leave that broker, what are you going to sell that plaque for? He said, I can't sell the plaque. Who's going to buy a plaque with my name on it, right? And so you can work for plaques that you have to pay for, or you can get equity. And so Glenn has set this up to be sustainable. And so every time, every year you do your first deal, the company will award to you $200 worth of stock. If you do enough to cap, meaning you've paid in $16,000, you're going to get another $400 worth of stock. And if you introduce someone, in this example, let's say Fred comes over, Fred does his first deal, he gets his stock incentive, you would also get $400 worth of stock for taking the time out of your day to share the story with Fred and to answer Fred's questions and help him through the joining process. And that's unlimited. And so, you bring in 1 person, $400. You bring in 10 people, $4,000 worth of stock. And then you participate in the growth of the equity of the company, right? If we're valuated here today and we double agent count, maybe the value of the stock goes like this, which means you get to participate in it. So that's our sustainable equity program. All of those have a 3-year vesting period on them. So each award triggers a new 36-month. And so consider, the little golden handcuffs that I should stay because they're going to give me more money, right? Number 2, we have Icon Agent Awards. And so this awards up to $16,000 worth of stock to an agent for being iconic. Now, the way we judge that is a couple of things. Number 1, you got to be able to pay the cap of $16,000. Number 2, do 20 deals after capping, which means that you would have paid in $5,000 worth of capped transaction fees. And then you would receive back 3 bonuses. One is $12,000 worth of stock for hitting that level. The other is $2,000 worth of stock for hitting that level and coming to shareholders. And then another $2,000 worth of stock for hitting that level and coming to EXPCon, which is our annual convention. So up to $16,000 going back. Now, stock will go up, stock will go down. It's just better than a plaque, right? Okay. Number 3, we have an agent equity program, and this is completely voluntary, right? So when you start, you are not in the program. You got to go into Enterprise, click a little button, say that you want to be part of it, and within 30 days, you would be part of the program. If at any point you say, I don't want to put any more in, you go in, click the button, 30 days later, you're out of the program. Easy. So if you're in the program, every time you have a closing, then the company's going to hold back 5% of your commission. So let's say you are receiving $10,000, your side of the commission, 5% would be $50, right? And so if it's $50, that's held aside all month long. At the end of the month, the company will sell to you EXPI's stock from its own treasury and give you a 20% discount versus what the public paid for. And that's your money. There's no vesting to this piece of it. It's your money. So you can move it into your trading account and sell it if you chose to do that, right? But for most people, right, they're with a franchise today, so they're paying 5, 6, 8%, sometimes 10% in royalty, and they just pay it. Just take that same money and put it aside and participate in the growth of the company. When you think about all of the agents that we have, not only across the US, but across the globe now, they're all part of the same company, right? They want you to do well. And so they get compensated through the equity program, right? That growth potential to be able to share the things that they're doing, right? So it helps fuel all the right behavior. So we have those 3 programs. I think it makes us very, very unique. Become a shareholder, join the company. And so, you know, if you're watching this here in Explore the Model, right below here, you have the option to click one of 3 buttons. One is you've seen enough, you want to be part of it. Click ready to join. That'll bring you to your sponsor's career site. Everyone here gets a career site. You'll be there. Put in your application. So the application really is 3 steps. One is my application, which is all the information about me, first name, last name, all that kind of stuff. That information then goes into the independent contractors agreement, or your ICA. So right when you're done, you have the ability to click and get your ICA, which is personalized to you. Go through, read it. Everything is digital signature, digital initials, and then submit. Then that goes into the company, and now you'll be working with our onboarding concierge team to help move your license over and all the things that need to happen. And of course, with every state, it's a little bit different. With some MLSs, it's a little bit different. In countries, it's different. Just know that we have full-time professional staff members that will be working with you to move it over. Okay. Number 2 button is I'm interested, but I need more information. You click that. We're going to drip on you a little bit. I have a series of emails in there that'll give you more information to help you make the decision. We're going to also let the agent know who sent you to the site that you finished watching the video and that you're looking for more information. So they'll be reaching back out to you too. And I encourage you to spend as much time asking questions and getting the answers. Because I believe if you ask all the questions that are in your head and you fully understand the value proposition, it really is a no-brainer. It's really a math question, right? Is this better for you and your family? And every time I've looked at it, the answer is yes, yes, yes. The third option is I am not interested. You click that button. We're going to thank you for watching the video and you know, encourage you to look at it again in the future, but we are not going to be harassing. All right, so easy, just let us know what you're thinking. Ask great questions. We have the frequently asked questions, so if someone's asked it of me more than a few times, I'm doing an FAQ and everything is in there to try to give you more details. And then we do 3-way calls. And so if I sent you here, you'll have my link to get back on my calendar. If someone else sent you here, you'll have a link to get on their calendar or email them to set up a time. And quite frankly, if you're asking questions that they don't have the answer to, we will do a 3-way call, right? So either myself or their leader, you know, will be answering your questions. And if we don't have the answers, we'll pull in you know, other people from the company, from staff, you know, other people that we collaborate with, whatever the solution is, to make sure that you have all of the answers that you need to be able to make a decision to make the move over. And so the last thing I'm going to talk about is how it's changed my life. And again, earnings disclosure, right? Not everyone makes the same money. It's really on your effort, your credibility, and those kind of things. However, you know, this has been a very, very special thing for me. And, you know, when I started making small money, you know, 6 years ago, you know, everyone was saying, oh, that's not much money, you know, blah, blah, blah. And then, you know, I made a little bit more money and they're like, oh, that's kind of cool, but, you know, you're not going to be able to retire on that. And then I started making really good money. And then people were like, yeah, but, you know, you were in early and, you know, and I'll never be able to do that. Well, the reality of it is I have dozens and dozens and dozens of partners that I've been working with over the years who are achieving higher levels at a faster rate than I was able to do, right? In the early days, we weren't even in all the states. And now we are, right? And so we're going faster and faster. So the opportunity is better today than it's ever been. I have people in their first year or first 18 months making more money than I made after my first 2 years or 3 years, actually. So anyway, I encourage you, get in touch, ask questions, get over here, plug into this stuff, use our systems to share this information with other people, and we'll help you build your revenue share group, help you, get as much as you can in equity in the company and grow your real estate business. All right, have a great day. Thanks for watching.